Welcome to Alpha Wolf Capital. I'm Tim, and I want to personally thank you for stopping by. This channel is designed to help small companies, both public and private, gain exposure with potential consumers, investors, even partners. Take, for example, today's guest. Co-founders of Medical Health Network Solutions, ticker symbol MNDR. Medical Health Network Solutions considers themselves the future of healthcare. Reimagine a healthcare system where it is affordable, quality, and near instant from womb to the tomb. MNDR is the first APAC telehealth company to be listed in the U.S. They consider themselves experts in telemedicine, wellness marketplace, and next-gen healthcare operating systems. I'm going to let the co-founders tell you more about Medical Health Network Solutions in just a minute. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. Hey everybody, Tim from Alpha Wolf Capital coming at you with a brand new company that I have been trying to get nailed down for, I don't know, I want to say almost 4 or 5 months now. And it wasn't due to lack of effort, just that they are incredibly busy and I've been incredibly busy. And it's now about almost, what, 5:30, 6 o'clock my time. And it's the morning over in where you're at, right? About 9:30,
Yeah.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock. Yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So, MNDR is the ticker symbol. I have the two founders here. I have Dr. Siaw and I have Dr. Rachel. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Tim,
Tell
for
us
hosting us.
Thank you
story.
for inviting us.
So this is a very exciting thing to me. This is a telehealth, right? Mobile health network that when I was told this when I first met Dr. Siaw, when I was first told this, I was blown away. But essentially, your customers can get to a doctor within 95% of the time.
Yep.
Within 30 seconds. Is that
Yes,
accurate?
you're right. Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask you both to give me a little background on you and how you got here, how you came up with this, and how you got here. How did the two of you meet? Let's start there.
Yep. Dr. Teo, you go ahead first.
Hi, my name is Rachel. You can call me Dr. Chiu. So I've been a practicing doctor for almost about 20 years. So in Singapore, we have a very small medical fraternity, and all of us are actually in this group. So in Singapore, primary care is a very big thing because we know healthcare cost is increasing. A lot of patients have been going to specialists directly, and this is only one of the reasons. And you know, healthcare in Singapore, and Singapore being a very efficient country, and all of us are inside this small little group talking about, most of us are seniors, and most of us are in the policy making in the department or even the Ministry of Health. And we have a small little group called PCN, where the various groups of senior doctors in family medicine will form various groups to take care of a group of patients. So we are in this group chatting away that we need to improve the standard of primary care, because what we observe is that a lot of junior doctors, as soon as they graduate, they will come out and set up their solo practice. And from here, the discussion, we actually move on, and we were discussing how we can actually form a group of like a community for these junior doctors to actually learn to form an apprenticeship with the senior doctors. And that's where I actually met Dr. Siaw. Dr. Siaw is a very respected senior doctor in our group. He's much more senior than me, almost about more than 10 years. And I learned a lot from him. And we clicked quite well because even before I met him, I have thought of building my own platform where patients can connect to me directly. Because I run my solo practice as well. I run my own practice for the past 20 years. I have two because my husband is also a doctor in family medicine. So we have, both of us have two clinics, me and my husband. So looking at this situation where I feel that because as family doctors in Singapore, we actually work really hard. We run the clinic early in the morning, 7:30. We take afternoon break, 12 to 2 o'clock. And we take evening break. And we continue till to the night at 9 p.m. That's what family medicine is about, because your patients live in the vicinity. They come with acute problems. Some of them come with chronic problem. And our life basically is just running clinic and seeing patients in the premise itself. So I thought to myself, can we do something to improve primary care? Because we do have a number of doctors who have burnout within my small community. So that's where it actually crossed my mind that what if my patients are able to connect to me even when I'm not in the clinic? My clinic is still open. I still can have my administrative staff or even clinic assistant assisting in the clinic with nurses in the clinic. But the only difference is that when the doctor is not in the brick and mortar clinic, the premise, or the doctor is doing ward round the hospital, the patient is going to connect with the doctor, and the nurses and clinic assistant is able to take the parameters from the patient, take the height, the weight, and the blood pressure, and transmit it to the doctor who is not physically in the clinic. And that's how the idea evolved. And I met Dr. Siaw, and at that time, Dr. Siaw also has similar vision, similar thought, where we can actually make primary care a virtual care, because both of us actually believe virtual care is actually the future of primary care. And that's how we met.
That's a fantastic story. So
Yep.
let's talk about where the company is right now. I mean, how many places are you serving right now?
So interestingly, since we met, it has been 7 years. So if you fast forward now, the company has actually grown a lot. We've scaled from one clinic to many clinics. We are now the dominant player in Singapore. We serve easily more than 80% of virtual care in Singapore, a small island of 5 million to 6 million people. So that is the first thing. And one of the reasons why we list is because we want to reach out to the neighboring countries. So we now have already extended our footprint to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam has always been our home ground where our IT teams has best since day one. Our IT, by the way, is actually one of the most important part of our ecosystem. In fact, more than half of our workforce are our engineers. More than 95% of them has been there with us from day one. So that's in terms of how we reach out. In the next 1 to 2 years, we see exciting times ahead. Now, I'm talking about team here, the physical presence of running telehealth platform in all these countries. We may be reaching out to more countries, including the United States of America. So there's physical presence. Now, in terms of our reach, as I explained to you, actually, we have a few layers in our care. The first care that we provide is our IT infrastructure, which is constantly being enhanced, expanded, and become more and more powerful. I always take a leaf from Microsoft. So when Microsoft was Windows 3.01, you and me are definitely familiar with it. They just start to turn graphical interface. And until today, at Windows 11, powered by AI and all this, it is 40 years history. 40 years of journey. At that time, Microsoft share was less than $2. Okay, now it's few hundreds, 400 plus. Now, I always tell them that we built, our company is actually a tech company. We built this healthcare ecosystem and platform. We are at the eras of maybe Windows 95. But it will not take us 40 years to be Windows 11. In fact, with the capability of AI, large language models, we are so excited. We see it. Our dream that we want to fulfill in the next 20 to 40 years might be able to be fulfilled in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe in the next 5 years. It has been an amazing journey for us because the power of AI will accelerate the power of the platform. I will go into a bit detail what our platform, the dream, will be like in the future later. So that's the first layer of IT enhancement that we are constantly, in fact, Rachel and me spend lots of time, day in, day out, every day, few days we will engage our engineer, talk about what we want to build, what should be the next thing to build to make healthcare simple for our providers, our doctors, and all our patients. The next layer is actually what I said about community of care. This will answer your question of how many countries we are in. Now we build community of care. If you look, it's a social network that we build around the world, around areas of healthcare needs, diabetes, hypertension, dementia, you name it, you build that communities and people start to join. So when we IPO in March, April, we were in 18 countries. Today, we're in 33 countries. It has spread out. But we do even have pocket of users as far as Iceland, Kazakhstan. And if you count this pocket of users, we have reached 77 countries. Our goal is, this is provided free. People from all over the world coming in because they share the common problems, healthcare problems. They will talk to each other, supporting each other with doctors, healthcare professionals, paying it forward to share it. And it's free to use, and it's fantastic. And this is we are greatly encouraged by this. Now, layering on top of that is where our telemedicine service comes from. It is our vision of providing equitable care to all, fulfilling these three things, okay? Healthcare, as I share with you, is always, if anyone can break this holy grail, it's fast, cheap, and good, okay? You can't get these three things right, nobody will use it. But with AI, with a platform, and in Singapore, we are the most affordable. We provide top quality Singapore practice doctors, fast, cheap, and less than 30 seconds, 95% time you get to see a doctor. We've done that for the population here, for the migrant workers who come and work in Singapore, for the blue-collar worker, for the elderly, for the housewife who has a crying kid at the middle of the night. They get their needs met, you see. And we feel that layering of the, so what our plan is, in those countries where the communities start to get very active and strong, the need of telemedicine will come in and we will layer on top. And that's how we build that and how we expand it. And we are extremely excited because physically we are already in a few countries, okay, providing the telehealth, the ultimate equitable care for all. The community that we built, it has gone more or less viral. The more it has grown, it's like Baidan, Baidan, TikTok, corner the world, Facebook. But this, we're talking about medical care in a very legitimate, in a very authoritative and quality way, We're not talking about a lot of fake data. We are actually meeting people's needs in this community of cares, So it is a very interesting thing. If you look at our forum now, I would say a social network now is huge. People discussing all kinds of topics. And we are excited by this. So these are the three things that if you're looking at it, and where we are growing, where we're moving into. Yeah.
Can I add one point
Yeah.
to that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm sure we all know that there are so many telehealth companies. We have Teladoc in US. Even in Singapore itself, we have a few competitors. So what makes us so different from the rest and what is it that we have built and why others cannot replicate the same model. Okay, number one, the problem that we are solving is actually a real problem. Healthcare cost is increasing, and we have doctors who are, when we talk about cheap, fast, and good, somebody has to foot the bill, right? So if it's cheap, our doctors are going to do it. Who is going to pay the doctors, right? I'm sure Singapore doctors, they are not just like any doctors in the world. They will not see patients just based on the word cheap. So it has to be quality care. After all, as doctors, we do actually have ethical code to abide to. So how do we achieve it? How do we match the expectation of the patients with the doctors? So by harnessing the technology, the IT and the AI, so we are able to actually assist the doctors to deliver their job well and effectively. So you can imagine that if the doctors no longer need to stare at the computer screen to type their notes, we can transcribe their voice real time. Imagine all the administrative work, all the issuance on prescription, and even medical certificate are done automatically using AI because we have automated the entire system. So all the doctors need to do is just to focus talking to the patient, just like how I just talked to the patient, and all this information are recorded in the clinical notes. And clinical notes are very important to all doctors because we have to write very, very detailed clinical notes according to SOAP format. And this is what we deliver to the doctors. We allow them, we use technology to allow them to see patients, focus on talking to patients, and the rest of the care is actually taken over by us. And that's why they're willing to take a lower fee to see one patient, every single patient. And that's how we match the expectation, the patient and the doctor. The second thing is we actually do a direct to patient care model, direct care model. What it means is that all our patients are actually paying cash. These are all self-paying patients. The problem with healthcare now is the consumer, the one who pay for the service is not the patient. If you look at the insurance, if you look at certain subsidy, who are the payer? The payer are the insurance, are the government. But who are the consumers? The consumers are the patients. So if you can understand this dynamics, it means that if your payer is not the consumer, there'll be mismatch of expectation. Why would people pay more for the patient to get more effective treatment? Now, we actually change the dynamics in our platform. The patients, the consumers are also the payer. That's why we have two parties who are contented. One party, they are able to get effective care. They are paying out from their own pocket and they think the money is worth it. The other party is the doctors who are delivering effective care and they feel that all their administrative work is taken over by the platform and they're willing to actually see the patient at a lower fee. And that's what makes us different. And these dynamics will be difficult to replicate.
Yeah, in fact, Tim, I want to add on something just to prove how effective the platform has been now. Okay, in my clinics, right? I run a clinic, Rachel runs clinics. I will need 5 staff to help me in the counter registration, the nurses around. And that is only for my morning and afternoon shift, Today, in our platform, there are close to 200 virtual clinics, okay? And we provide 24/7 support to every individual doctors, taking care of everything from them. They don't have to worry about clinic rental costs, setup, and everything. And guess what? We only have less than 25 staff supporting 200 over virtual clinics. And that is almost how many for, okay? More effective. And that is, mind you, is 24/7 than in a physical clinic. So that's why we become so effective. And these doctors are being treated like a king. And we have a personal butler team that service them, take care of pre-consultation, post-consultation, whatever thing. And we have totally transformed their lifestyle. Doctors have no experience being pampered so much in their whole life, you know. And to them, this is what they love, what they are doing. So, and they can practice. The most amazing part is they can practice any time of the day when they are free or anywhere in the world. It's essentially you're talking about transborder care. Now, we are looking at rebalancing manpower. There are countries with lots of doctors training with no job. And there are countries where there are lots of people who need help, you see. And if you know Rachel well, she is fantastic at numbers. She's fantastic at operation, looking at all this balancing. By the way, she used to be a hand surgeon in training, okay? Extremely decisive in things, and she's actually extremely good at aesthetic medicine too. Although she is practicing as a family doctor, she still does aesthetics and all those things. And not only that, I happen to know her as extremely capable in terms of technologies. She literally loves to try every single technologies, every single app, every kind of process of automation, you name it, she has tried before. It is extremely unique to have her as my co-founders, you see. So that's, I sort of haven't gone back to how I met her and how I was impressed. So because of her vast technological know-how, and she read extremely widely, you see, taking information like a sponge. And she's extremely brilliant. I must tell you, she graduated as the valedictorian of the year from the country of Malaysia. Yeah. So in that way, she
I
can
just want
see
to say
a lot
real
of things.
quickly,
Yeah.
when I first saw you, I honestly thought you had to be in your 20s. Just so you know that, right? I mean,
Yes.
I could not have thought that you had this career that you have explained. There was no way I would have thought that because you look like you're in your early 20s.
Thanks to
That's a
the Zoom
compliment.
filter.
I mean, that's incredible. I have to close my door. Out. Come on, out. Go away. My dog hates it when I have a meeting without her. So I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm blown away by the level of accomplishment, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking you got to be maybe 25, 26 years old. And then when you started, I'm thinking, okay, I'm way off of that, unless you started when you were like 2. All right. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I had to say that.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, she's extremely brilliant. I must say that. If she will identify gaps in the company, operationalize it, automate it, everything in the company needs to be automated. That's her mantra. It has to make life simple for the doctors, make life simple for the provider, and make it extremely idiot-proof for the patients. So you will see the evolution of our apps coming up, our application, our platform. The day it comes, there's nothing there. It's just a person talking to you. That's it. And that is the one that the future of healthcare. It is so simple. And you have seen our AI face scan. The belief is in future, we do not need to use physical equipment. It must be contactless measurement across space and time. And we are already doing that for more than a year plus. You see, just a scan of your face through the phone, we get more than 27 parameters, including your blood pressure, pulse rate, your mental stress score, your age, and all this. So when we make the circuit in US, the investors were excited. They start to see our vision and why healthcare can be made equitable through this type of AI-powered platform, you see, because it really makes it simple. And it has already happened in a very sophisticated city like Singapore, you know. You see, for it to be successful, right, somebody must be able to pick up the phone and just use it. That's it. So we were actually fortunate enough when we were in Florida to attend this talk by Zach, the go-to-market co-founders of OpenAI. And he was sharing something that resonated with us so well. In fact, he ended the speech with healthcare. He was saying that the future of healthcare is actually in AI. The robot will operate on you. And it's actually synchronized to us that what we are building is the future of primary care in the world. So we start to coin this word that as a company, we want to usher in the golden age of healthcare, the primary care, and we must be in the forefront of it. And it has to be a renaissance. I want to coin this word renaissance because and claim it to be ours. We want the company to bring in the renaissance of healthcare, and it is now. There's no better time than now. The golden age has begun, and the journey must spring forwards. You will see amazing thing happen because I'm actually very excited myself when I see the power of what it can do together with the doctors. It's something that blown our mind off. And as Jack said, the world that we live in 10 years from now may be a world where we never imagined it exists, because AI is extremely powerful. And, we live in this part of the world where we're using the ChatGPT 3.54. When I attend the talk, instead, they are actually talking about ChatGPT 7 to 8 now, or what it can do. And that kind of power is computing powers, and the AI evolution is huge. And in healthcare, there's no better place to do it in healthcare. So Rachel and me definitely believe this is the way forward. And you can see a lot of this exciting thing coming out from us, definitely. And I'm quite sure, Tim, you'll be very excited. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I look at AI. It's an amazing thing, right? I mean, it's you're not going to stop it. I can tell you that. We're
Yes, you're right.
too far in, right? You're not going to put the genie back in the bottle. So you're going to have to, I think all the doomsday scenarios about the AI getting smarter than us, and then figuring out that they don't need us anymore, and figuring out a way to kill us all. I guess that could happen. But in my head, I think to myself, if you have a really super smart entity that doesn't have how do I say this? The weaknesses of human beings, which is to be greedy or powerful, or if you just have a really smart entity that is logic based and isn't getting its feelings hurt, I would think that it would come out with some very different outcomes than what we think, because we're not letting our emotions and feelings get in the way, right? So when I see this stuff and what it can do, it is just mind blowing to me. Now, I guess there are some nefarious people that could try to manipulate a very smart system for bad things. But I think if it's a really superior, smart thing, it's going to recognize that somebody's trying to manipulate it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I like to think positive. I'm one of these optimistic people, right? So I think what you're saying, 5 years. It could be, who knows? I mean, because it's learning so fast, right? I mean, I literally talk to ChatGPT every day. Like, I have a conversation, I forget it's a computer. I mean, because we're getting
you're right. You're right.
really, really well, right? I love talking to him. I mean, I run ideas past him. I mean, it's just amazing,
right?
right? So when you say in 10 years, we may see a world that we never thought was imaginable, I could see that in 2 years, really, at the pace that it's just amazing to me, right? You can ask it any question you want. I actually asked it, what would a truly United States of America, if we were all united, forget the political parties, forget the race and all this other stuff. What if we were just united and we based things on logic, empathy, right? Compassion. What would the world look like if that's what we did, right? You can ask it a lot of questions. the answers you get back are just awesome. They're so awesome, right? The opportunities we have in front of us, I think this is going to be a golden era. I honestly, truly believe that if we want it to be, this can be the most amazing time you've ever seen in your life, right?
Yeah. So you can see, Tim, this is our focus. We want to usher in this golden era for healthcare, and we want to be the front runner. That's why when I talk to investors, they say, "What is your timeline?" I say, "No, 2 years. I'm not looking at 5 years to acquire or grow one companies. No, in 2 years, I must be in Asia Pacific. In the next 5 years, I must be global. That is the speed where this technology can be deployed." You're right. I may be wrong. In 10 years, the world is different, but I think in 2 years, it may be very different now. At the speed that things are going to happen, is actually so we are very excited because the more we deploy the platform, the more we find that it is so fast. It learns by itself and become better, and that's amazing because it the more it learns, the less we need to do. And
Right.
that's amazing. Yeah.
It
So
get it's gonna get so smart at some point you're not gonna be able to tell it anything because it
yeah,
already knows it, right?
yes. So it will start to learn to predict the future. That's why we're excited for the company, because where a lot of healthcare company, this is where I agree totally with Rachel and the rest, when they meet the virtual care, in fact, a lot of companies scale back on virtual care and said, look, healthcare post-COVID, let's go back to bricks and mortar physical. We are about the only company who double up on technology, who double up on virtual care, because we see the future is there. Our patients are the greatest validation that this is where the future is, you see. And that's why we are unique, because we're about the only company in the world who double up on IT, who double up on our expertise on this. Where people say, no, let's go back to brick and mortar. Patients like to see the doctor face to face in the clinic. I can tell that when I see my patient who has been with me for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, switching to virtual care to see me than to the clinic, I know a lot of doctors are still living in stone age, thinking that patient-doctor relationship is physical. Virtually, we can connect with patient very well. In fact, I tell a lot of doctors, please do a virtual care, do a face-to-face video. You will realize how close you are to the patient, because, in my clinics, I always tell people, I look at these patients, I can't see the patient very clear, but Tim, on the phone, right, I can see every single spot on the face. Imagine, after I see the patients across the video conversation, although the patient may come to see me for maybe a bleeding nose, okay? At the end of 5 minutes or 3 minutes, AI will tell me, look, I see this patient as he talk to you. He has 10 more on the face. His eye is not blinking very well. There may be something else. I notice he's breathing. And from the way I look at him and analyze, he may not have been sleeping well at night. There are 1,001 things that can be generated in a fraction of a few seconds and give me a good summary. You know what kind of care are we talking about? I'm caring the patient beyond just look at the fever. I will have a wealth of information which would take me hours if I were to analyze face to face with the patient. But just a virtual scan of the face, the AI can even measure the distance between the pupils, how the eye is moving, every single parameters. And I see the day coming. And the doctor will be so excited. There is no human being, even you are the best of the doctors. I want a Dr. Tia and me, I must say that we are extremely good doctors, okay? Our patients know that with hundreds of thousands of patients who trust us. I can't do that, I can't have that kind of accuracy that AI can by a simple scan. See, today I'm talking to you now. I can only guess what is your breathing rate, perhaps how much is your heartbeat, to maybe 10% accuracy, okay, 90%. The AI can give me 99% accuracy. Soon it'll be 100%, almost 100%. You can imagine that and highlight to me and flag to me any deficit in my gap as I see patients. And that's powerful. Just simple, So we are seeing that coming and we are excited. We have to be in the forefront of this. And if you ask me how much does this company will grow and worth, I think anyone who can envision this will see this. This is a global company in the making, And our focus as founder has always been, we'll leave it the company, the stock prices to the market will see us. But us founders, we want to see our long-term vision fulfilled. This is why I share to the shareholder. Our long-term goal and mission remains the same. I want healthcare to be equitable, to be simple, idiot-proof. Everybody who wants it must be able to access quality, top quality care at a highly affordable price all the time, anywhere in the world. That's important. Yeah.
That is why you and I connected so well the first time that we met, right? Because in my head, I know I came into this world with nothing. I know I'm 99.9% sure I'm leaving with nothing. So the only thing that matters is what we do while we're here, right?
Yeah.
Making money from investments and all that, that doesn't mean anything really to me. What has become very obvious to me, especially with the way that Wall Street has changed, is that, and it's very short-termism is what I like to call it. It's all short-term stuff. It's all short-term thinking. It's all short-term fees. It's not, investing is actually kind of becoming a thing of the past because it's all about making quick money, and it's trading algorithms and naked shorting, and there's just all these things that take away from investing, which investing is finding a good company that's going to do good things for a lot of people and make the world a little bit better of a place, right? And it's difficult for those companies to survive. I would say it's much more difficult for those companies to survive today than it was back then because we have such limited focus. We don't really want to spend a whole lot of time learning about a company or why it's even important that they survive, right? The impact that these, like your company, what you're talking about is you're talking about being the number one health provider, no matter where you are in the world, right? And there's probably some controversial stuff there for some people about the facial scan because everybody's worried about their privacy, right? But one thing I think you can't or you don't want to slow down technology that is going to help make your life better, right? I mean, that's ultimately what you want to do is you want to be able to provide somebody cheap, quality healthcare. I don't see how anybody could say that's a bad thing.
Yep.
Right? I think that's an admirable goal. And I think there's a whole bunch of people all around the world that need it. Right? So if the company becomes extremely successful in a multi-billion-dollar organization, well, then that's a positive thing too, right? Because the ripple effects of going from being a small company to a very large corporation, how many people's lives are positively impacted by that? Just that in itself. Forget about what you do. Just the fact that you grew, and because you're going to have to hire more people, right? There's all kinds of positive things that happen from that. That's why I focus on small companies, because I figure if I can help a small company go from being a little company to a big, giant corporation, just that act in itself already did a lot of good things for a lot of people, right?
Yes.
But then if it's something like yours where the product or service you provide is also changing people's lives, making their lives better. Now, what are the ripple effects of that? Right? That's the kind of thing that I get excited. That's what gets me up every morning. And that's what keeps me working 7 days a week because I want to keep finding companies like yours, right? And make people aware of those companies so that why? So that they can support your cause. They can get behind you, right? And feel good about doing that. I mean, there are companies that you can invest in out there that I don't know necessarily are doing great things for humanity, right? I would much rather be involved with companies that are doing good things for humanity than, I don't know, a alternative universe that I could go live in and be whatever I want to be. How that is good. I don't need a metaverse. I don't need one of those. I need healthcare. I don't need a metaverse, right? And that's the way I look at it. So you have a very admirable goal, right? And that's something that people should want to be involved in.
Yeah, Tim, I love your this catchphrase. Investor invest in company that make them feel good about it. They're part of meeting people's need. And that's something that is extremely useful for us actually. A lot of times we have this narrow mind frame that investors invest in our company so that they, they make more money, you know. But coming from your mouth, that's why I like talking to you, because you have a different worldview. You want to make the world a better place, which is what we want to do. The next catchphrase I'm going to talk to my investor, please invest in us because it will make you feel good. You are doing good by investing in us. You know, that is unique. You are doing good by investing in us because investing in us end up with good cause. We are meeting unmet needs around the world. And that's important. This perspective for you is actually golden, okay? Extremely valuable. So investor will not be too bothered whether the share price goes up and down because they put their money into every dollars may have 10 times multiplication effects, benefit 10 or more people, you know? That's amazing.
This
Yes.
where I actually see
Me, better write this thing down.
what I see is it's the opportunity for us to, they have the haves and the have-nots. You have the very wealthy,
Yes.
and then you have the way I see us closing the gap on the haves and the have-nots is by making the have-nots smarter about what companies are out there. Because look, your stock right now is 40 cents, right? 40 cents. I'm pretty sure most people could like scrape their couch and maybe scrape their car or vehicle and pull out 40 cents just out of, right? And you could buy a share of stock for 40 cents. Now, there's this funny thing. There's this thing, strength in numbers. The more people you have that are pulling out 40 cents to buy one share of stock, or maybe they buy 10 shares of stock. If you have 80 million people buy 10 shares of stock, how many shares of stock is that? That's a lot of shares,
That's
right?
amazing.
Now, I'm not saying 80 million people are going to go buy the stock tomorrow, but if they did, there is strength in numbers. Reddit actually proved that with GameStop and AMC, right? They prove that when people, a big group of people pull together, they can make things happen,
They
right?
can beat the Wall Street.
The problem was those were two not so great companies that they rallied behind. Imagine if people rallied behind companies like this, right? But the problem is Wall Street, CNBC, Bloomberg, they're not going to have you on. If they have you on, it's going to be for about 10 seconds. And what are you going to tell anybody about your company in 10 seconds? Nothing, right? So the other option is for the retail investor to find you somehow, some way. That's very challenging because there are a lot of garbage companies, and it's tough. It's hard. It's just reality. There are a lot of companies out there that are just garbage companies. You got to go through a lot of stuff to find good companies that are doing good things that I think are real companies. Like you said I think that was before we hopped on camera. This is a real company, right?
Yes.
And you're not planning on quitting anytime soon, are you?
No, we don't. We want to see the dream come true.
So look, the way I look at it is this is the ground floor. This is really the beginning for this company. Right now, you've been around for a while, but this is the beginning of this chapter, right?
Yes.
And this is where I will say, if you don't want to go putting a big investment into this company at this particular point in time, that's fine. What I'm suggesting is you go up to their investor relations, you sign up for their email alerts, and I would buy at least one share of stock, right? Because that way, by buying one share of stock, you will pay attention to what's going on with the company, right? And if Dr. Rachel, Dr. Siaw, if they wind up accomplishing what they're trying to accomplish, my guess is it's not going to stay a 40-cent stock. My guess is at some point this whole story will really kick into high gear, and the stock price will most likely go with it, right? So this is a company that you may want to, I'm not saying, because we haven't covered everything. How many shares outstanding are there fully diluted? Do you know?
Actually, I'll say there are only 33 millions. So we have around 8 to 9 millions in the public float. The rest is all with the founders.
Okay.
So we're close to 65% with us, and we do not intend, we're not sold a single share, and we don't intend to.
Now I saw you have 75 employees. Is that accurate, or do you have
We're
75?
more or less the same. We're extremely lean and agile, yes.
Okay.
It's still around the number.
But so I'm assuming it's because of how you mentioned you partner with these doctors over the place. They're not direct employees.
You're right.
Partners? Is that I guess how you could say it? They're partners with you?
They are actually, they comes on our platforms. They don't really, they partner, but they comes in as a freelancer. They are like Ubers, the taxi drivers. They comes on board. They can pick up the patient and see. But a lot of them start to work full times with us because they see the value of delivering care here. So they are not our salary employees. You're right. And that's where Rachel is so good at that.
Okay.
So we build one of the most powerful network of doctors now who support us. Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. What do you see as potential catalysts? What should people be looking for that have now discovered this company? What are the things that they should really be paying attention to for the next, 6 months?
I think few things. They must look at how we strategize our growth and regional expansion in terms of working with valuable partner, either through M&A or acquisition. That is actually bringing this ecosystem platform to millions or hundreds of millions of people by a strokes of our strategy that we employ, you see. So our aim is very fast. We want to work with a company that has already have extensive reach, which are ripe for the picking, and that will roll our platform now to benefit not just 5 million people, we're talking about 200 over million people in Indonesia, another 100 million over in Vietnam. In the next 6 months, I think people must take note of that. That's number one. Number two, they must take note of our IT evolution in our application. The app is not a simple telemedicine app. It has huge communities that support each other. It meets a lot of unmet need. Go in and talk and chat with anything that interests you. And that's important because even your one comment there bring a lot of support, bring a lot of comfort to another person in different part of the world. The investors, the people can help to build healthy communities of needs around the world. And I think that's important because not just by buying stock in our company, they can actually participate and actually lend support to many needs around the world through us, the platforms, you see. And we see that happen during COVID-19. We have professional lawyers. We thought we'll be very busy trying to tell other patients what to do. Instead, the patients supporting each others, there are hundreds of thousands of messages that pass through where to meet the need, allay their fears, and we see that happening. And just by purely doing that, people can bring great comfort to somebody in Iceland, to Africa, Kazakhstan, Papua New Guinea, you name it. So we want people, our investors to be participants in terms of helping each other to meet needs around the world. So that's the second thing, So we encourage people around the world to build their own communities if they want through us. And that's the two things that I really think the investors should focus it on. And of course, the numbers will show. The number will show our revenue should grow. Now, so a few things that if you really drill down, they must look at the numbers of countries that we have grown. They must look at the numbers of people who comes and support the communities that we've built. Because we hope in 2 years' time, our community of care is global. Any part of the world is there. And think that is powerful. Facebook take 5 to 10 years to reach around the world. We hope we'll do it faster. So this is not a company that deal with just telehealth. It's a company that build case around the world, and it has the potential of number one, going viral. I think I want investors to take note of that. It has the potential to be extremely big. So look at the countries that we are in. Look at the number of users that's coming to our platform. It doesn't grow by 2 millions. The next phase, it grow by 20, 30 millions in a couple of months because of the way that we integrate, we merge with strategic company. Now we are looking, Dr. Teo and me, we don't acquire for the sake of acquire a company. We don't merge for the sake of merging. We look at synergistic company that fulfill our mission. That has also the reach in the region. So that's why I share with you that we may potentially be in 6 other countries just by one scoop. You see? And that is the impact that I want to create. The ripple effect has to go out fast for it to be effective, to make sense. Imagine if I tell you, Tim, I'm going to be in 3 countries in the next 10 years. That doesn't make sense. I want the power of this healthcare to be used and shared with everybody as fast as possible. And we have built to scale. We are able to take this load and scale. Because from day one, we anticipate ourselves to handle 1 billion people, 1 billion transactions, you see? And that is, we factored that in. I mean, we are small cap, but we have a global ambition. And that has always been our goal, you see? I mean, ultimately, if we have something, I want everybody to benefit as fast. So I think people should actually focus on these few things that we are doing. The day-to-day share price, I think it will take care of itself, as you say. And of course, we share people like you guys, like you especially, who share this dream and vision. I think a lot of retail investors, if they put $1, $10, you will change the company. You're right. It's just $1, 1 billion people putting $1 inside. The company is no longer, it'll be totally different. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that are thinking or have all kinds of technical questions, server capabilities, and the cloud. I mean, there's just so many things. Give me one or two things that you worry about could derail your ultimate dream.
I think one of the key part is always politics and regulation. Okay, I mean, we are realistic. Okay, as we grow around the world, we are mentally prepared also to cross this hurdle. Okay, to make the world a better place, we expect resistance. We expect another came. So there's one big part of the game. Now the other big part of the game, it can be from the doctor communities because we're out to disrupt healthcare ultimately. You see, I always use the word Dr. Teo and Rachel and me build this platform to destroy ourselves. You see, we are happy to destroy ourselves to make the world a better place for people. But humans, doctors being human beings, healthcare workers being human beings, there will also be camps who are not happy. We expect that. You see, we're realistic, but we know ultimately people will start to see. So these are two things, you see, our own communities and the regulatory framework. But we're prepared for that because we ultimately believe that the people globally around the world will see it. Ultimately, what matters, as what Dr. says, is the user, is our patients who matter the most, you see. And if we can harness all these technologies, we can bring in like-minded network of doctors around the world. There are many, mind you, who share our vision, and that's where we are today. I think we definitely can achieve the goal, you see. So we're prepared to face this obstacle, to cross it. That's why in my letter to the shareholder, I use this phrase, we will sell the choppy, we will sell through that because we don't expect it to be smooth going. We have met regulatory hurdle, we cross it, and we will continue to do that. And I believe as long as we have a vision that meets the need, as you say just now, it meets global need, it has a good intention, people will see it, and we should reach the show. See, yeah. I'm very certain, if there are 1 billion people who put $1 and who stay with us, the vision is there already. If there are 1 billion people who come to a platform and just text a comment today in the community, okay, we are bigger than Facebook and by TikTok. You know why? Because they come in to share their needs, to support each other. Of course, you may have the fun of TikToks and Facebook, but this is real needs we are talking about. And people feel good about it, you see. Today, I tell my friends, look, don't feel sad. I had the same problem before. Just that one sentence bring comfort to thousands and millions of people. And that doesn't cost a single cent. Maybe it costs somebody less than 20 seconds to type that message, you see. And that's how I want to build. The world is a better place, supporting each other, engaging each other. In the era of AI, I think this is powerful. When things are become more automated, we bring a human harmonies. We humanize healthcare in the power of AI evolution. You see, it is unique. That's why I want users to see that although we use AI to dehumanize healthcare, but our social community of care actually make it more humanized. And that is unique. You have not seen any healthcare company that focus on these two fronts. At the same time of making it so efficient, people may think that you have dehumanized, but we mute powerful community of care. And that is ultimately what I think our future world will be like. Where life becomes simpler, easier, happier, people spend time interacting with each other in a sensible way, supporting each other, you see. As we journey through this world. I mean, we are doctors, you see. life journey is never smooth. There are ups and downs, either in families, bringing up children's, life tragedies. You name it, we have it. There are happy and sad moments, but we need a caring hand to bring us along this journey, to make life easier, to make life less painful, and above all, more enjoyable, you know? So I think that's how ultimately you can see where we are coming from. We want to make healthcare very simple at the same time, bringing a huge human face to healthcare. And we have been relentless on doing that. You can see if you go to our community of care now, Rachel take actually the lead. She literally posts messages on a daily basis. You see, we lead by example. We are not founder who sit there doing nothing there, typing on a keyboard, staring at things. You see, when at the beginning of the interview, she was trying to look at the screen. She has 2 or 3 computers there. Of course, now she's very focused on the interview after speaking to you for a while. She was looking at the patient, the interaction, and all this. I've not seen anybody as dedicated as that. So I want the investor to know we are serious founders, we are dedicated doctors. We're out to make a better place, not just for you, for your children, for your great-grandchildren, and for generation to come. And that is what we want to do. And I think the journey has started. It will continue. It will become better, bigger, and easier. Yeah, that's what I want to summarize. Dr. maybe you want to say something. I said too much already.
That's well said. I have nothing further to add.
All right, this is what I want to do. This was our first meeting. I want to have, when you feel as though you had you have a significant announcement, maybe it's a new program or something that you're launching, or a new country that you're going to be serving, whatever it might be, right?
Yep.
We'll have you back and we'll do, it won't be as long of an interview. The first one's always the longest because I want people to get a feeling for who you are and what the goal is for the company, what the vision is, and the strategy and how you plan to get there, right?
Yep.
My one question that I know people are going to ask is, what about security? Healthcare is a very private thing, right? So how do people feel comfortable on a platform like yours that they're not potentially exposing their medical issues to the entire world? Does that make sense?
Yes. So, Tim, now we're doctors. We take patient privacy, confidentiality extremely important to us. Okay. In fact, when we started this company, if you look, we're about the only company from the APAC region that comes with data protection trust mark from the Singapore government. It's just come out from renewal again. We put ourselves from day one under rigorous security protocol, confidentiality protocol to make sure that we met it. Even the company was just starting, and it will continue to do so. So you can see that. But one of the things that I want to highlight is also, see, we are always on the lookout. See, even the best of the system can be hacked, but we will try our best to minimize it, to make sure that the impact is little. So on day one, when we set up this company, it was on microservices. Many systems were spread all over. So any potential breaches or what will be minimal. See, so a lot of this planning and thought has been put in place. And of course, with the evolution of blockchains and all this, data will become even more and more secure. So I want the investor community to know this is actually our priority, and we have always put that in. It's part of our DNA, put it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
More
Okay.
so than any companies, especially for company founded by doctors who are extremely serious about it. I can't let my patient information. In fact, just recently, when we are trying to enhance the system, we find that even your record, we do not want it to share with another doctor if you have not agreed to. We are that strict. You see, your
Yeah.
record must be between you and your doctors who care for you. That's it. Without your consent, it will not be shared. And we look into that in every deployment. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am really glad that we finally got to do this, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm sure if anybody has any questions, you have an IR firm, which is, I think, Skyline, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yep.
Yeah, Gerald is here.
That's on your website. They can reach out to Skyline if they have any questions. I think this is a really exciting story to start paying attention to, right? So we didn't talk about the path to profitability, but you have cash. You said that you've got enough cash for a year, right? So there's no immediate need to raise capital, which is a big concern, right? And you said you've got some pretty exciting stuff in the works that is going to be announced in the next few months,
Yep.
or whatever, right? So pay attention to this. I think this is a story that this is a feel-good story to me, right? This is a feel-good story to me. Maybe I'm just a big sappy guy. I don't think I am. But this is one that I think you're going to want to pay attention to. How many countries are you in right now that you're actually providing service?
Actually, we're in 3 countries that we already roll out services in terms of telemedicine. But in terms of our community of case, 33 countries. Yes.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. This is an exciting story. Thank you so much for taking your time to come in and do this. And I can't wait to get an update from you and see what's happening next.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for hosting us,
Thank
and
you
you have a
so
great
much.
day. Hey,
Thank
good
you.
night to your side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your day. And
Yeah.
hold on one second. I'm gonna turn this off. Thank you for tuning in to another interview here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Today we had Mobile Health Network Solutions, ticker symbol MNDR. I hope you enjoyed today's interview, and if you did, do us a favor, give us a like. How about giving us a share? And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button. All of those things are extremely important to us here at Alpha Wolf Capital, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Until next time, stay safe. Alpha Wolf Capital wishes you the very best of success.